Hello, my friends. Perlo Wisdom here, and I'm starting my season previews for 2025-26. I had people send me which teams they'd like to start with. I'm starting with the teams that people generally is now like the biggest market teams in the world, and Philip Snat sent in the San Jose Sharks. I'm going to talk about some projected points for the end of the season, where they may end up. Are they going to be better? Are they not going to be better? We're going to talk about each individual player, coaches' systems, and how they're doing for the future for the San Jose Sharks. So let's go take a look at it. I'm going to go look at Puckpedia. Now, I have done an extensive amount of analytics on all of this. I would highly recommend you get JFresh Analytics. I am a professional sports handicapper who handicaps for the Ice Guys. We were voted best sports podcast in North America last year. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And JFresh Analytics has helped me a lot become a really good capper. I'm not getting paid for that, by the way. JFresh doesn't even know who I am. All right, let's look at what we got here. Looking at Puckpedia, we'll start off with the top line. Okay, here's something that you have to take a look at when you're looking at analytics. I brought out analytics up, but one of the things about the San Jose Sharks is last year they played from behind more than any other team, which has a lot to do with their team defense, has a lot to do with their defensemen, and just really not high caliber players. Of course, they just weren't very good last year. So a guy like Macklin Celebrini, who came in the league as a touted Taves or Bergeron type defensive player, his analytics aren't looking anywhere near that right now. In fact, actually, they look horrible. But when you're talking about a team that are playing from behind a lot, what happens is, and this would happen to any player, including Bergeron or whatever, you got to score goals. So you end up taking way more risks. You end up having to really not pay attention to defense a lot. You're playing more desperate hockey. So I put that out the window here when we're talking about Macklin Celebrini. Of course, he's an amazing player, 63 points. Interesting thing about Celebrini, and before I predict how many points he's going to get, this is his sophomore year, and everybody's going to know who Macklin Celebrini is. It's not going to be as easy as it was for him last year. This is kind of what happened with Bedard, and it's a regular occurrence. Is he going to overcome that? Is he going to be one of the players that it doesn't affect him in his sophomore year? We'll see. So I'm leaving that alone. At the very least, I think he gets as many points, but I think it's going to be a little more difficult of a ride for him than it was last year. Tyler Toffoli, who normally is an awesome three-zone defensive player, ever since he came to San Jose has actually been not too great, to tell you the honest truth. And again, that's for the same reason for the most part. He is there for offense. When you're down 3-1 going into the third, you're not thinking about defense too much. Also, there's another thing. Warsofsky, I believe, has really not been focusing too much on that right now. I think he's trying to get these young players feeling good that they can score in this league. And this is a really good thing to do for coaches when you have young players like this. It's not easy to score in this league. And confidence can be a big factor for goal scorers. So I think he hasn't been really doing too much to focus on a system that, by the way, Warsofsky, his system that he's trying to incorporate over time here is very complex. It's much like the Florida Panthers system. And this is a system that most teams are trying to go to right now. And it takes a lot of cohesion. It takes very intelligent players. It usually takes very veteran players because It's something that young players don't get in junior and as they're coming up in junior or college or anything like that, because you just don't have time to put the system in place and have a team that's able to do it. It's a very difficult system. It's a hybrid defensive system. It's a very aggressive offensive system that still forces you to not take too many risks offensively where you can't get back into the neutral zone or into your spot in the defensive zone. It's very difficult. Florida uses it, and it's going to take a while for Warsofsky to incorporate the system here in San Jose. So one guy, though, I am absolutely amazed at. Don't get me wrong. Macklin Celebrini's offensive skills, I'm amazed at too. But William Eklund has been absolutely awesome as far as a three-zone defensive player is concerned. The best on the team for forwards, no doubt about it. That means that he is likely a natural. He's a guy who, even in situations where you're trying to get ahead, he just knows, he just naturally plays strong defensive-minded. He has a mind for the defensive part of the game, William Eklund. I love this guy. Absolutely love him. So that line will, of course, probably be the top line. They may put Will Smith up there on the right side, and we're going to talk about him right now. Last year, he was not given the highest amount of difficulty as far as playing against elite players. Generally speaking, they tried to deploy him against the lower in the lineup players. They really, Wasowski really used him in a lighter way. He didn't get heavy deployment, and that's good. He's only 18 years old. He's trying to feel his way in the league. The kid's got skills up to obvious. Like, you watch him and you just go, wow, this kid's something else. He is going to be excellent. I've heard projections of 100 points for him this year. I think this is a little early to be saying that. I'd be happy with, he had 45 last year. I'd be happy with 60 or so, somewhere around there. And Celebrini, if he gets 70 or 75 would be great. But they're also looking possibly, I hear, at playing him at center, which is going to change things up quite a bit because he played more of the wing last year. He has a great guy to work with, though, in Alexander Wenberg on the left side. Alexander Wenberg is a very good veteran defensive player. He's got a great mind for the game. His skill isn't overly fantastic, but he uses what he does have in a very intelligent way. And I think that's going to be huge playing with a guy like Will Smith. I think what you'll see here is Wenberg and Smith switch back and forth. They're really just kind of getting Will Smith used to playing center in the league. I think you'll see Wenberg and Smith. But I wouldn't doubt that Wenberg and Smith play with each other quite a bit, because Wenberg is more of a center, Smith is learning, and he is a great guy to learn from. Then they went out and got Adam Gaudette. I'm not going to go into all the players that they got rid of, like Cunnin and stuff like that. I'm just going to focus on the team as it is right now. Adam Gaudette, who has been getting better and better his whole career. He was projected to be a little better than he is right now, but probably by people that really didn't see his skill set for what it was. I do believe he won a Hobie Baker Award, but it was one of those guys, he won it 3 years later after his draft year, sort of like what you are seeing with the Edmonton player there, escapes me, Howard, something like that. And usually those players end up something like this. He's not bad defensively if you don't heavily deploy him against elite players, and that's basically what he got in Ottawa. But he's got a great shot, and if he gets in his spots, he can score. I don't think he should be playing up this high in any lineup, but he's going to get a shot this year, and I imagine he'll get a couple more points because of it. He has about 26. He had 26. He had 19 goals at a very high shooting percentage. Maybe somewhere around the same, maybe 35 points Adam Gaudette can get. He's actually not bad defensively. Again, if you don't play him against the top players, that's going to be pretty much Toffoli, Celebrini, and Eklund getting most of those minutes, as they did last year. And so he probably will get like Smith about against average deployment. It's not a terrible line, but it's not a second line. It's going to be tough on. It's going to be a tough year as for depth again with San Jose. I think they're going to be a little bit better, but Jeff Skinner, I don't know what they're thinking here. I would never have this guy, especially on a young team. There's no way I would have this guy on my team. The guy doesn't give a flying F until, I'm sorry, he doesn't. He never has. Immense skill, questionable on off-ice conditioning, very very selfish player, flies the zone all game, doesn't care about defensive systems, doesn't listen to his coach, doesn't give a rat's ass. I don't even know if it's that or if he's just dumb like puck. The guy, whatever it is, I wouldn't have him on a young team. I don't know what they're doing here, to tell you the honest truth. And with Barclay Goodrow and Philip Kurashev, Barclay Goodrow pretty much should barely be in the league right now. He's getting paid a lot of money. Apparently he's really good in the room. So take that as what you will. But he's not really good on the ice. He's actually terrible on the ice. Shouldn't be playing this high in the lineup. Kurashev, getting another shot here at 25. I can see why they're giving him a shot. He could be a late bloomer, but he's not really that great in any area. He hasn't progressed well, so they're giving him a shot. It's a terrible third line. Absolutely terrible third line. To tell you the honest truth, I would probably play Grundstrom up there. Skinner, I wouldn't doubt at all if Skinner is scratched, even on this lineup this year. I would not doubt it at all. I'm pretty sure Warsofsky, who is teaching a very demanding system, is going to be very frustrated with a guy like Jeff Skinner. I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe to play on the power play, I guess. But Grundstrom, Dellandrea, Reeves shouldn't be playing in the league either. I would put I would play Colin Graff, who is in Puckpedia right now, is in the press box. I would play him on the third line before just about any one of those players. Certainly before Jeff Skinner. I wouldn't be wasting Graff on the bench with Jeff Skinner there. I'd be putting him right on the bench right away. So I would be putting Graff up there. He's not bad. He's progressed not too bad. He's actually, for a young guy, he's learned the defense part of the game pretty well. And, I'd keep on giving him a shot up there and letting him grow. I certainly wouldn't be playing Jeff Skinner. Grundstrom, Dellandrea, and Reeves is not a bad fourth line. I would play Grundstrom again also up there. I would play Barclay Goodrow down here on the fourth line, and Grundstrom and Graff up in the second line with whoever, Ty Dellandrea even, and then Skinner, Goodrow, and Reeves. Just throw them out there because you have to. Sorry, that's about it. For defensemen, Mario Ferraro has got to be one of the most overrated defensemen in the league. I've heard people say he's one of the best defensive defensemen there is. He's not. He's not very good at really. He's terrible defensively. He's a better play driver than he is a defensive player. I don't know where they get that from, besides the fact that he blocks a lot of shots, and I think that's where they get that from. Yeah, he does block a lot of shots because he's out of position all the time, and his team, nor he, has the puck when he's in the defensive zone. See, the two things about blocking shots is those two things have to be happening. Your team can't have the puck, and you have to be in your own zone. Mario Ferraro spends a lot of time doing that and doesn't do it well. So when you're out of position, shot blocking does not mean you're a great defenseman. It can mean you're a very bad one. It means that you're out of position a lot, so you got to flop all over the place in the defensive zone, which is what Mario Ferraro does. I would not be playing him up here. I'd be playing Dmitry Orlov, and I do believe Dmitry Orlov, who they got from the Carolina Hurricanes, who's played under the radar very well the last 2 years defensively, better than he actually ever did in Washington, to tell you the honest truth. I'd be playing him up there with Timothy Liljegren, another underrated guy. He's not very physical, but he's very smart. He's a good, smart guy. Neither one of these guys should be top pairing, but it's the best they got, so they'll be up there. And I think with this defense, with getting Dmitry Orlov and Liljegren being 1 year older, he's going to be 27 in his peak. I actually think their defense is going to be better than last year, to tell you the honest truth. They brought in John Klingberg from the Edmonton Oilers, who definitely had a rebirth in the playoffs last year. Looked a lot better. Should be interesting. If he plays like he did in Edmonton in the playoffs, and he, not a bad addition to play with a guy like Mario Ferraro, I suppose. That's where you're going to have to play him. So he'll help out Ferraro quite a bit. But it's still not a very good second pairing. Shakir Makhmadulin, one of the best names in hockey, will be in a much better spot here, playing down in the third pair. I like what he has to bring. He's not putting up great analytics right now or anything like that, but he's got a lot of tools, and he's really, big, solid kid. So playing down here will get him a chance to get his bearings going against lesser competition and build up confidence. And I could see him being a decent defenseman by the time he's 27 years old. Bringing in Nick Leddy is whatever. Really not very good. So we got like a lot of not very goods here. I think their defense is a little better. It'll be interesting to see how much more Warsofsky is teaching these guys, or at least making them accountable to play his system, and I think that could be the case. So a lot of people are taking San Jose to be much better this year because they love Celebrini. They think Smith is going to score more and all of those things. I'm not so sure about that. They are still in, I wouldn't call it tank mode, but not worrying about winning mode. And I think this is a year where Warsofsky starts putting the system in place and making players more accountable than they have in the past. And the reason why I say that is because now we're going to be going into the goaltending. You've got a rookie goaltender like Yaroslav Askarov. It appears that he's going to get a lot of minutes this year. I don't see run and gun being a thing this year. I think that he's going to be spending a lot of time teaching this hybrid defensive man-on-man system, and not allowing them to take too many risks and leaving this poor kid out to dry like they did with goaltenders before. They are going to be better without Georgiev. Any team would be. But getting Alex Nedeljkovic is pretty meh. But he's a veteran guy that can take things over if Askarov is struggling, especially if he's struggling with confidence. He's been shelled quite a bit in his career with Detroit, Pittsburgh, so he's used to it, and he seems to be able to stay strong mentally through it. Has the type of personality that's not going to kill him. So how are they going to do this year? I think they're going to get about same points as last year. A lot of people think otherwise, and I understand because, Celebrini a little year older, Smith a little older. I didn't mention Misa, who I don't think they're going to throw to the Wolves here, but I could be wrong. He might get some playing time, but I don't think it's going to be huge. It's going to be it's one of those decisions that's tough because he's probably too good for junior, but he's also not good enough for the NHL likely yet. He may just get some extremely sheltered minutes in the offensive zone and really work with some of the veterans that they have that will be sitting to build up strength. They may do it that way. That's what a lot of teams are doing until next year when they're allowed to take one player to go to the AHL. I wish that was this year for Misa because that's probably where he should be. But I think maybe a little more, like 50, closer to 60 points this year, maybe a couple more wins. But it is really tough for young players to learn a defensive system like Warsofsky has. So if he's going to do that this year, and I talked about it with Montreal too, so wait for that one to come out. if he's going to do that this year, there could be some struggles in San Jose. And I think he'll really focus on it later on the year, as they basically don't want to get too high up in the standings, because they want to get that top 3 pick still. I'm sure of it. All right, my friends. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Catch me at Perlos NHL POW on Twitter. You can get all of my content. Don't forget, I am going to be doing a show with Ron from I forgot the freaking thing. X Steel Flyers. I got a new channel coming up. I'm going to be doing Pucking Deep probably 2 times a week. So catch me on NHL POW, and of course all the content that I do on the Ice Guys. I'll be putting bets up. You'll have an opportunity to purchase my picks for a very small amount as well this year. People made a lot of money last year, and you can make a lot of money this year, and have fun doing it. Have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye.